Hello and welcome. Today we are going to go ahead and take a look at the Ebon Hawk, at least my Starfield rendition of this ship. Now, the Ebon Hawk is originally from Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, which is an excellent RPG game if you've never played it. And this is my Starfield rendition of that ship. Now, in Star Wars, or Knights of the Old Republic, the Ebon Hawk has a single top-mounted turret uh, that spins 360 degrees, and it is designed more as kind of a mixture light freighter slash personal transport, and it's just a fun little ship. Um, this Starfield rendition of it, I am making use of the ship flip glitch quite extensively. Um, and we do see that there's still that single turret there. However, that is actually four turrets duplicated over each other. Additionally, the other weaponry on the ship is hidden. So this does have, full three weapons with 12 power allocated to each of them. So if you use this ship, you will not find yourself lacking in firepower. Now, when I originally built the Ebon Hawk for Starfield, I went ahead and just went nuts, gave it all the trimmings, gave it, the best Class C reactor that it could, all the best weapons, etc. But then, after a little while, I went ahead and said, how much can I downgrade this to make it a mid-game playable ship? So, after some fiddling around, I decided that I would go ahead and make this a hunter class ship. So this is now a bounty hunter. Now, like all of my hunter class ships, this is limited to Starship Design rank 2 or less, which means that you should be able to get all the parts available to you somewhere between the ranges of level 20 and level 40. Um, Additionally, this is a Class C ship, so you will need to go ahead and get that piloting skill all the way to rank 4 to play it. And the primary reason is because these engines on the back. So as we come on down here, we will take a look at the rear of this ship. And you can see that we've got a pair of these nice old supernova engines on the back. These best match up with what the Ebon Hawk has in Knights of the Old Republic, and there's nothing else that really fits that same appearance. Um, you, I will show a variation that is Class A that mechanically might actually be better, but this Class C engine is the primary reason why this ship is a Class C ship. Um, Additionally, like all of my hunter ships, this ship has a brig and it has suppressive weaponry available to it. And I will demonstrate that to you first in the tour and then in the build. Let's go ahead and start with that tour. Now, we are immediately entering into the brig, and I chose to use the Tayo brig. Um, I wanted to use either the Tayo or the Stroud 2x2 here, just for the exterior appearance and that more blocky shape. And after fiddling with it for a little bit, I decided I kind of liked this Tayo interior for the brig a little bit more than I liked the Stroud one. They are both basically identical, except for the brig itself is shaped differently. Well, it's the same shape, but we've got different door and different beds inside, as well as a bathroom in there. Coming through this door, get this nice little area over here. This is also where we have our docker, and then right here is where we have our armory. Now, I will note here that if we didn't have these two doors here, there would be a little bit of kind of an interior armory here. but I was okay losing that because we've got the primary armory right here. And this here is going to be our Stroud 2x1 armory. Again, for this hab, you could do either Stroud or Tayo and still make the exterior look appropriate. And I just went with the Stroud because the Tayo one has less weapon space, but it comes with another little brig cell. And since we already have the full brig there, I didn't see a need for a third cell. However, if you like that, by all means go for it. And you could also go ahead and replace this 2x2 with literally any other one, and then just have the armory right here as a tire armory and still be able to be a bounty hunter because you'd still have a brig. Or holding cell, I should say. Coming on over here, we enter into the 2x1, and this is going to be the Stroud control room. This 2x1 can be literally whatever you want, though do note we have the cockpit right up there, so I want kind of easy access walking through here. But if you have something else that you would rather have here, it's easily replaceable. Over here, we have the Tayo 2x2 all-in-one berth. You'll notice that when we come right on over here, you can see there's 4 beds available right here. And then we have our primary kitchen available right over here. Sink, stovetop, some little ovens. Kind of wish this space had a little bit more prep area, if I was to cook in here. And I would also love if there was a fridge located somewhere right nearby, but it's not there. Next, we have a bathroom located right here. And then we open up this door and we see we've got another 2x1, and I made this one the captain's quarters. So you can see got a navigation table, the captain's bed, their own private bathroom, as well as a little seating area. Coming in here, we'll go up the ladder in just a minute. We've got the Viking cockpit available right here. And then we have our ladder. Alright, so right up here we have the Stroud 2x1 all-in-one berth. You can see there's another little galleon over here. And then another bathroom located right there. Finally, forward of this we have the infirmary. Now, the reason I stuck the infirmary here is because it is nice and out of the way, so there will not be people walking through here while there's somebody on one of these sick beds. However, this is not the most convenient place to put someone if they are actually injured. Another layout that I considered is replacing the armory right down over there with the infirmary. And then I would go ahead and I would move this all in one forward and then put the armory right here. However, that comes with its own downsides because now you have to go up and down the ladder to get into your armory. So it's really just whatever makes you happiest. Finally, I will note that with all these 2x1s, if you want to have a ship that can do everything that you need to in Starfield, replacing any one of these 2x1s with a workshop will give you basic everything that you would actually need to use for gameplay purposes. Now then, let's go ahead and take a look at how this ship is built. All right. So, let's see here. What do I want to point out? Well, first things first, let me go ahead and just get my colors in my palette. And like the Ebon Hawk, I'm using some orange top, just whatever flavors of orange you want. And then for this, a gray middle color. And you can adjust those tones however you want to get the end result that you are looking for. Alright, so let's go ahead, select it all, and delete the ship. Now, first things first, let's go ahead and grab our landing bay. I'm using the Deimos landing bay right here. And then we want to come on all the way down here to the Stroud 2x2 mid. And I want the brig here. Then coming forward of this, I'm going to go ahead and grab the Stroud 2x1, and I'm going to make this the armory. And then I'm going to copy this to right here, and make this the control station. Then I'm going to copy the 2x2, and convert it back into the all-in-one. And then here I'm going to grab the Tayo 2x2 mid, and I'm going to make this my captain's quarters. And then I'm going to take this control station, duplicate it upwards, and I'm going to turn this into my all-in-one. A or B, doesn't really matter. Then I'm going to duplicate that to Stroud 2x1 again and turn this into my infirmary. Then, underneath, and forward to the control station, I'm going to go ahead and grab that cockpit. And this is just whatever the best Viking cockpit you have available is. And then coming on over here to the forward side of the outer portion of the brig, I'm going to go ahead and grab that Hope 11 Docker port. All right. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and grab that reactor. And here I'm going to go ahead and grab the Fuser DC-402, which is the best that you can get at Starship Design Rank 2. That's 34 power. You could also go ahead and use the SF-30, which provides the same amount of power, but it doesn't have all connections on all the sides. And before we get too much more into this, I'm going to copy this on over here. And with this one, I'm going to show a Class A variation of this ship. Now, I am still going to limit this to Starship Design Rank 2, because the best way to still get kind of Ebon Hawky look is to use the SA4100 series engines. But the weakest version of those still requires Starship Design Rank 1. So, since I'm doing that, I might as well just go ahead and have Starship Design Rank 2. Now, over here, I'm going to go ahead and grab my grav drive. And for this ship, I was able to get away with the R4000 grav drive. I will show one other variation of this that you can do. That would require you to increase your grav drive to the Aurora either 12G or 13G. Now, over here, we'll go ahead and take that same R4000 grav drive and just stick it on right there. And then for our reactor on this version, the best one that you can get is going to be the Spheramac DC-201. So I'm going to grab that and stick that on right down here. This is not attached yet. We will get the attachment points in just a minute. But if you don't have this one available to you, just whatever the best Class A reactor is. Next up, let's go ahead and start looking at the underside of this ship. So first things first, I want to go ahead and grab my cargo. So for this ship, I'm using the Polo 2000 cargo holds. You could use a better one, but the ship that I've built does have mobility issues, and I will show you a way that you could address that. But just for how I ended up rebuilding it, I just went with the small Apollo 2000s. And we will copy that on over here. Okay, next up, let's go ahead and look at our landing gear. So for this ship, I'm using 6 AccuLander 11 landing gears. And you'll note that there's one, basically one down from the docker, and then across that line, so this is on the forward portion of the 2x2s, and then next to the reactor and one back are the other ones. And there we go. Right on the other side, same general idea, except for here the grav drive is moved back one. Here we've got the reactor located underneath. And then we will go ahead and grab a Deimos hull to fill in this space right here. Speaking of Deimos hulls, time to add a couple more. All right. And then now let's go ahead and grab our Deimos bellies. So I've got the Deimos belly pulled back to be even with the 2x2 on the opposite side of where the landing bay is. Then I also have the Deimos bellies on the very back of this ship. Now, for this Class C variant, I do need to pull these off because the Supernova engines clip slightly above and below the too tall here, which means that I'm going to have to flip these Deimos bellies into place. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and grab those engines now. And I am using the Supernova 2000s, just because these are what are available to me at Starship Design Rank 1. The next variation up is Starship Design Rank 3. Then I just flip these Deimos bellies into place here. Now, on this ship, I have nothing else that looks at all like these Supernova engines, especially not at Class A. But we can get a similar-ish shape by grabbing the SA4110 engines. Oh, wait, wrong sides. Alright, so if I line these up so that way the flat side is facing outwards, then there's kind of open area right here. Then what I can do with these is I can go ahead and grab my fuel tank, which is the M40 Ulysses HE3 tanks, and get a bad imitation of this nice round Supernova engine. It kind of gets the same general point across, but it, in my opinion, does look worse. So now that the engines are in place, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the fuel tank for this ship. And for this one, I use the H20 Atlas tank. And for this, I ended up using the duplication glitch with the Deimos hulls to hide that fuel tank under one of these Deimos hulls. Because of that, you can basically fit whatever fuel tank you want on. It's entirely up to you, but it's hidden from view. Now let's come on over here to the structural tab, and we're going to come all the way on down to the Nova parts, and we're going to grab the Nova cowlings. Okay, and I'm going to place one of these cowlings here, and then on the lower portion. And then copy that on over to the other side as well. And then copy the bottom ones on over to this, and then the top ones we are going to need to flip glitch into place through those fuel tanks. Now, since we basically got the bottom done, let's go ahead and finish that up really quick. So underneath these 2x1s, I went ahead and stuck the Skeg Bs and then Skeg As on both sides. There we go. That is the bottom of both ships done. So let's go ahead and start filling out these sides. I'm going to come on over to the front, and actually, wait, we've got one more thing to do on the bottom. I'm going to leave the cap off and demonstrate something else with that in a bit. Alright, so over here I've got the nose cap B, which I'm sticking on the front of each of these 2x1s. And then on the side that does not have the landing bay, I'm sticking a nose cap A flipped to the fore, so that way there's not any rounded corners on it. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab a Deimos bumper. I'm going to flip that into place right here. Let me just copy that on over to the Class A version. Next, let's go ahead and take this bumper, and we want the front, mid, and rear variations. And then we need to flip it into place over the Hope 11 Docker. And same on the Class A variant. Next, we're going to come around to the rear, and on top of the reactor or the grav drive in the Class A variant, we're going to go ahead and stick our shield. So for Class C, unless you joined the Vanguard, the best thing that you've got is the Odin 3040C. If you did join the Vanguard, then grab the Vanguard Bulwark Shield Generator. For the Class A variation, though, stick it on top of this. We can either go ahead and do something like flip in the. Actually, probably the best would be to go ahead and flip in the deflector SG40. However, you could also just go ahead and stick the 40S protector shield generator on top of the grav drive and have it kind of mimicking that Class C variation. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and hide that SG40. Oh, come on. And it really does not want to duplicate down, does it? All right, fine. Since it doesn't want to duplicate down, I will just go ahead and stick it on right here, and we'll deal with that in a bit. All right, now over this area here, I want to go ahead and place the Hope Tech cap mid, and then the rear. And then an optional step, which I'm going to go ahead and keep, is I can go ahead and take this and also flip it into place underneath this engine. And you can see that that kind of fills that out. Otherwise, there's a small gap right here, which isn't a big deal. Probably not worth the extra 8 mass to hide it. But you know what? Let's do it anyways. And on this ship, we are going to do the exact same thing. And here we just put that mid and we're flipping it into place, and this shield is just kind of sitting on top of that. Next up, let's go ahead and copy these mid caps up here. Okay. And again, this look here is just to mimic the Ebon Hawk. And we'll just copy that on over to this ship too. All right. Now then, let's go ahead and grab some more of these Nova Cowlings. And we're going to do a lot more flipping. So, what we did here is we just flipped these two Nova Cowlings, and then added two more on the outside here, just to kind of go ahead and get that little Y split, so it looks like it's some sort of pipe coming off of that engine forward. And then over here, just to make life easier on me, I'm just going to take all 6 of these pieces, copy and paste. Then, moving forward from that, we have the Deimos Spine Bs, and then a Spine As. Um, accidentally clicked off my screen. All right. Then we're going to go ahead and grab an equipment plate right there, and an equipment plate right there. And over here, we're going to put a single equipment plate right here. And... all right, so we've got a little bit more to do on these ships, but it's time to start adding the weapons. So with the Class A variant, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and toss on the Disruptor 3310 proton beams. And I'm just going to duplicate that kind of on the chin. And then, let me just put an equipment plate up there too. Now, one of the fun parts of the Ebon Hawk is that central turret. However, if we are looking at a Class A ship, none of the Class A weapons are turrets. So we just need to toss something up here that we like. Um, yeah. You know what? Let's just go ahead and toss on this Ravager 20 beam. Um, and then we can duplicate that 3 times, and then it's just ever so slightly offset. Um, you could also do some fiddling to get that centered, but I just don't feel like doing that right now. And then right down here, we are going to go ahead and grab our favorite suppressive weaponry, which, you know what, for this one, we'll just toss on a pair of these seppukus, like that. Now, for the Class C variant of this, um, we are actually producing enough power that with the currently selected shields and engines, we can fully power 2 of our weapons. I determined that you can act that one of the best weapons for a sustained DPS is actually going to be these 3310 proton beams. So we are just putting 4 of those on there. And then for our B class, or for our suppressive weaponry, the Firebolt 4000 is the best suppressive weapon that you can get at Starship Design Rank 2. So we're just going to go ahead and get 4 of those. And then up here, continuing on with the, I guess that's good. At Starship Design Rank 2, this Disruptor 3320 Neutron turret is actually one of the best turrets that you can get. 2, 3, 4. And then delete that. So you can see, like this, it looks like there's a single turret, but that's actually 4 stacked on top of each other. And then to finalize this, I'm going to go ahead and grab these Stroud nose cap Bs, and I need 2 of them. One is going to go right here, and I need to flip that into place. And now that suppressive weaponry is hidden under this. And then flip that into place, and you can just barely see the front end of these proton beams here. There we go. So let's go ahead and, since these ships are basically done, aside from painting, see what they look like. So I'm going to delete the C-class ship. And you can see that this A-class ship, we could probably go ahead and downgrade this grav drive. Actually, no, we can't. If we go to the 3000, we are going to be short of our jump range. Now, this ship still has 88 mobility while still having reasonable cargo. And if you don't mind these engines, this engine layout I actually think is slightly better than the C-class ships stat-wise. Because they're Class A engines. You're going to keep that 150 top speed. However, I do dislike not being able to have that turret. So, if possible, I would look at being able to, instead of running Class A, at least run a Class B ship. Though, then you run into the problem that, this reactor is better than any other Class B reactor at Starship Design Rank 2. course, the best version, in my opinion, is Class C, because then you get a ship that can actually take a hit, because you notice the shield and hull is kind of low. Bringing this back, I'm going to delete the Class A variation now, and this is the Class C variation. So the big thing that you will note is that we've got that 57 mobility. So this is not a particularly maneuverable ship. If you want more mobility, you could go ahead and duplicate these supernova engines over each other. So basically, instead of having two, you could have four, just taking the space of two. I will not demonstrate that, but by doing that, you can get up to 100 mobility, but then you're needing more engine power. If you want more cargo space, you can duplicate these, and then you can upgrade this cargo to something that has more cargo space. But you will also need to swap two of these landing gears out for the what's it called? The NG20 landing gear wides. And that's two more landing thrusts per lander. It's just you'd have to get a little bit more landing thrust. So, all this being said, let's go ahead and assign that weaponry now. Nope. Proton beam, suppressor, and turret. And now I'm going to go ahead and paint the ship. Start with a gray, and then I'm going to take the top and the bottom. And these I'm going to go ahead and paint my oranges. And there you have it, the Ebon Hawk. Note, I did make the small change of adding these two aft caps. That's the only difference between this and what I initially demonstrated. So, now that we're done building, let's go ahead and take this out to Serpentis and see how it performs. All right. All right. And now, let's go ahead and swap to suppressive weaponry. And after disabling the engines, it's time to board. Oh, and we have taken out all right. We and I just blew myself up with an explosion shot. Whoops. Did I learn my lesson though? Absolutely not. Okay, maybe we'll switch to mag shear. All right, and this time, without blowing myself up, nope, not through that door. We need to come through this. There we go. And time to come on over here into the galley. Was not expecting him. And I really hate fighting in 0G. There we go. And now I'm going to undock. And then I want to make this my home ship to capture it. And then redock. And then, now that we're back on our ship, and there you have it, another successful bounty hunt. Actually, before we do this, let's just go ahead and take a lovely little picture. Always got to take advantage of these opportunities when you have them. So I'm going to go ahead and call it here. If you've watched all the way to the end, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all those YouTube things. And I will see you in the next one. Alright, there's got to be a good way to get this picture. There we go. Alright. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good one.